today's session is this, okay? Help, I want to make friends. How do I make friends? Now, for some people, this might be a question that is, it's normal, people might be asking. Some people, it's very natural for them to make friends. It's very easy for them to just, walk up to someone, say hi, start a conversation, and hey, after a while, become friends. But a lot of times, there are a lot of people out there that actually struggle with this. That actually struggle with actually even approaching a particular person, and I understand that because I was one of those people. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story on what really helped me break out of my shell, what really helped me be able to start making friends and get to where I am now. Like now I'm here giving a talk to all of you, like 50, 60 of you here. If you asked me last time, I wouldn't be able to do that because I can't even approach a person. So there's a little bit of my journey and some experiences I want to share with you. Okay, but first off, I do want to ask here, all of you here in this chat right now, I want you to reply me in the chat if you feel the question or the statement relates to you. If you feel that this statement relates to me, I want you to type me in the chat. Or you can give an emoji, or any emoji you want, just to show that whether this statement relates to you. The first one is, how many of you here find it hard to make friends? Type me in the chat if you feel it's hard to make friends. Okay, so I see messages coming in. So if you feel this is you, don't be afraid. This is a safe space. This is a space that we're all going to learn. I'm also going to be opening up about my story as well. So let's all be able to be open in this session, all right? So I see a lot of you have said me. Okay, the next question I want to ask, how many of you are afraid to talk to someone new? Anybody new, a new classmate, a new friend from another class. How many of you are afraid to talk to someone new? Okay, I see a lot of responses in the chat as well. The third question I want to ask tonight, very important. How many of you feel that you're not interesting enough for people to want to be friends with you? How many of you feel that? Okay, I see responses coming in. Let me tell you, at the age of 12, before I went to high school, all three of this, that was me. I found it hard to make friends. I was afraid of talking to people that I knew. And I didn't really feel that I was interesting enough for people to want to be friends with. Why would they want to be friends with me? What do I have to offer? Well, I'm not that cool, not that interesting. I don't know if I can hold a conversation long. Why would they want to make friends with me? And all these thoughts actually went through my head when I was in primary school, when I was going into high school. So these were the things. I want to say that from what I see in the chat here, right, a lot of you are responding. A lot of you said me as well, right? From here, you can see you're not alone in this. You're not alone. I was there. All your friends, a lot of the people here are also feeling the same way. So if you're feeling this way, know that you're not alone. It's normal. It's natural for people to feel this way. Now, picture this, okay? So this was me at the end of high school. So this was me at the end of high school. I mean, here you see there's a picture, I'm surrounded by people, I'm surrounded by friends, and you're thinking, hey, Darren probably it's easy for him to make friends, it's easy for him to reach this stage. It's easy for him to have surrounded himself, to talk to people and get to know people. Easy for him, anybody can do it. No. What you see here, the journey that led me to this point of time was a long one, and it was a really big struggle internally, inside here. That's where the struggle was. And ultimately, I was able to reach this point. But it's not the end goal that I'm trying to talk about, it's the journey that led me to there. Okay? Because at the beginning of high school, this was right before I entered high school, this was me. Now, I don't have actual pictures of me at that particular age, but this was me at the beginning of high school. So a little backstory here, I'm sure you're wondering. So a little backstory is that when I was in primary school, so I was very introverted. Introverted in the sense that I wasn't very talkative. I didn't really socialize much. I didn't really know how to socialize much. So it was kind of awkward at a lot of points. And there were incidences that happened to me when I was maybe around 8 or 9 that made me feel like I didn't want to have many friends anymore. And so I started not trying to make friends anymore. And after a while, when I reached standard 6, when I was 12 years old, right, I had kind of forgotten how do you make friends. And you see people around you in the classmates and all, right? They're classmates. You talk to them sometimes, but they're not really your friend. You don't share anything with them. I didn't share anything with them. We didn't really hang out much. So in a sense, I was there, but at the same time, I was alone in a sense. So at that time, I thought to myself, 12 years old me, I was like, okay, I don't really need friends. I have my books. I have what I call it? I have my games. I go back. I go on my laptop. Sorry, not laptop. That time was computers. I go on my computer and talk to people. I talk to people in games like RuneScape and stuff like that, Maple and all. And okay, yeah, that's fine. My social life is done. I have friends. They're online. I might not have seen them. I don't see them. I don't really know them. But yeah, I have friends. I have friends. Or I don't need real life friends. I don't need many people in life. I don't need to connect with people. So that's what I felt at the start of at the end of primary school. So then my parents sent me off to a camp. I mean, guys, you guys have been to camps before, right? So I was sent to camp and I didn't know anyone at camp. So I went there. This time my computer was at home. My books were at home. So when I went there and it was totally strangers, right? That was the first time I actually truly felt like really lonely because I didn't know anyone. I didn't know how to talk to anyone. I didn't know how to approach anyone. And so most of the time of the 4 days camp, right, I spent just sitting, the padang there, your field there, right? There is the benches, right? So most of the time I just spent sitting there and watching the other kids play, watching the other kids laugh and goof around and stuff like that. And then I kept asking myself, why can't I just go out there and say hi? Why can't I make a friend? And even if I thought about this, right, I didn't move. I didn't move because I was scared. I was scared that people won't like me. I was scared that people wouldn't want to be friends. I was scared of a lot of things. And that kept me there most of the time throughout the 4 days camp. So it was terrible. It was horrible. It was so it was very stressful and it was very in a way it made me feel very sad lah, because that's when I really realized that hey, we actually need people in our lives. We actually need friends. We actually need people to talk to, people to share with us. And after that experience, right, when I went to high school, I said, you know what, Darren, this is your chance. This is a chance to make a change. This is a chance for you to start fresh because it's the beginning of high school. I'm sure all of you, when you first entered high school, it was like a sea of new faces. You don't know a lot of people, and you have to make friends. I mean, you. That's the point of time where you feel like, okay, this is my chance to make friends. So that's what I felt, and only going through the experience that I did at the camp of being alone and all, that I feel that I needed to start making friends. But the question was, how do you do it? That's the main question why we are trying to answer here today, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of pointers that I felt that really helped me in my journey as I was going through high school, all right? In terms of making new friends in a new place. Just remember these 4 things. Be brave, be ready, be real, and most importantly, be realistic. Brave, ready, real, and realistic. If you can be, these 4 things, I can guarantee you'll be much better at making friends and you'll be more comfortable with yourself as well. Okay? But let me tell you what I mean by this. When I say be brave, what do you mean by this, Darren? Fear less. I mean, if you can be fearless, that's the best. But if you're introverted, you're shy, and maybe you have social anxiety, first thing you need to do is fear less. Because a lot of times what you feel is real. When I see when I am scared to talk to someone, the fear I feel about talking to people, right, is real. I'm not going to discount that. I'm not going to say that it's just in your head, it's something that's not real, you're just overthinking it. No, it is real. For you it's real. For you to feel scared, for you to feel shy, for you to feel stuck in a spot, that's real. That's real. I feel you. But what's not real is what you fear. Okay? You fear that they won't like you. You fear that they will laugh at you. You fear that they might ignore you. These things have not happened yet. These things are the ones that are in your mind because you haven't even gone and experienced it. You haven't even gone to the person or these people and actually had a conversation with them. How are you going to know that they're going to ignore you, they're going to laugh at you, and they're going to not like you? These are all in your head. They haven't happened yet. You feel the fear because you're scared of approaching them. That's real. But you don't know whether they are not going to like you, they're going to laugh at you, or they're going to ignore you. Most of the time, they would not, but it's here. All right, so fear less. A secret tip that I think you should know is that people are more worried about how they come off than to notice your nervousness. When you go over and talk to someone new, let me tell you, most of the time, 99% of the time, they're actually worrying about themselves or they're thinking about something else than worrying about how you are, how nervous you are. They are not looking so much on that. They are worrying more about themselves. So you think that you're worried, you think that people are going to be judging you so much, right? No, they are more worried about themselves. They are more worried about things that are around them than you coming and talking to them. All right? So don't be too worried. Like I said, very important. Don't be a fortune teller. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to react. So don't try to be a fortune teller. We are not the X-Men. We don't have mutant powers. All right? If you try to be it, right, you're only predicting things that may not happen. All right? And most importantly, the conviction needs to come from you. If you want to make friends, if you really want to make friends, you decide and say, hey, I am actually going to make a friend. I'm going to talk to someone today. You make that choice, then it can happen. If it's not you that's making that choice, then unfortunately you can try, but you're not going to put your heart into it. All right? So all this comes by fearing less. Okay? So be brave. The second thing that I want you to know is that being brave means making the first move. Being brave means being the first one to make the move. Because a lot of times, friendship doesn't just come to you. If you're lucky, people might come to you and they initiate the conversation. They make friends with you. But most times, you need to go to them. Now, in high school, I remember the first day of high school when I entered high school. I was prepared that day. I told myself, don't fear so much. You're going to do this. Be brave. I walked into class that day, right? And somewhere in the second or third period, right, one of the other boys was actually talking about a show that I watched. It's an anime that he was talking about it, and I overheard. And I decided, he's talking about something I'm interested in. I need to use this. I need to go and make the first move. So I walked over to him. I was super scared, super nervous, but I said hi and I said, "Hey, that's a pretty cool show. I watched it too, And he heard that, and we actually had a conversation. My first real conversation in high school at the time, and we had a conversation, right? And over time, right, because of that, right, I was able to meet a lot of other people because he also had knew a lot of people, and I started building up my connections of friends. And he also is one of my closest friends, even till today. He's still one of my closest friends, and all because I decided to go to him and say hi. Didn't wait for him. If I were to wait, if I was hoping that he would come to me at some point in life, right? I think till today also I'll be waiting. So you have to make the first move sometimes. And you can start with hi, like I did. I asked something casual about where you come from, how you feeling, how was your day. Now if you go on Google now, right? Google will give you so many answers. Last time when I was before my first day of high school, I actually went and Googled up how do you talk to a new friend? What do you say to start a conversation? You know what Google told me? Ask them about the weather. And you can imagine, you go out to someone and, hey, how's the weather today? Oh, it's kind of sunny today, right? It's kind of awkward, right? So now that was what Google was giving me last time when I was 13 years old. But now if you look up Google, they actually give you a whole lot of really good tips, especially on what to say, how to start a conversation and whatnot. But let's keep it simple. Just ask something casual. How's your day? How's your morning? How's things? Simple things like that can lead to a bigger conversation. All right? So you don't have to immediately jump in all in. Start with something small. All right? Another thing you have to remember when being brave is that if you see the chance to step up, be brave enough to take it. So another way that I started making more friends was that you guys have co-curricular, okay? So I mean now in the COVID, it might be a bit hard in the sense lah, but when you're in school, you all have your class committee, you have your pengawases and stuff like that, right? And all of these, right, are actually chances for you to make friends because in these things, right, there are groups of people that are going to be working very closely with you and you're going to be having to talk to them, whether you like it or not. So there's already connections there. And out of all of them, I'm sure a bunch of them are definitely going to be able to become your friends at some point of time, but only if you put yourself in that situation. All right. So be brave enough to raise your hand, volunteer to be part of a team or a club. For me, it was one of the things that we did was that the teacher wanted to pick a class monitor. And at that point of time, I was thinking to myself, Darren, do it, not do it, do it, not do it, do it, not do it. You already talked to someone new, you made a first friend, so you want to make more friends, do it or not do it. And you know what? I just didn't think so much about it. I put up my hand, I volunteered, and then I became class monitor. Even though I was super nervous, my first time I went up there and said hi to everyone, I was shaking in my voice, but I did it anyway. And because of me being brave enough to volunteer myself, right, I was then in a position where I had to talk to my classmates because, when you're class monitor, you have to ask a lot of things. I had to talk to my classmates. I had to talk to people outside of my class. I had to talk to other class monitors as well. And so I started to know more and more people, and I started to get more involved with more and more people because people were making connections. So what I'm trying to say here is every single one of these clubs, these societies, these teams, they are all a chance for you to meet new people and make a friend. All of it are opportunities, no matter what, no matter how small it is. So do remember, step up. Even if you're not sure, raise your hand. Besides being brave, the first step, you're brave, that's great. But also, you need to be ready. You need to be ready. Now, a lot of times, it is easier than it sounds to walk up to someone new and introduce yourself and say hi. It's easier said than done because you can't just do it on the spot sometimes. It's hard for us, especially if you're introverted and all, right? It's very hard. So sometimes you might need to psych yourself up. Psych yourself up in a way of like this. this is what I did lah when I was before my first day of high school. First day of high school in the morning, right? Actually, half an hour in the morning, I actually stood in front of the mirror, right? After I got myself ready for school in the uniform, I actually looked at myself in the mirror and I was trying to pump myself up. I said, no, you can do this. Today you're going to make a friend. Today you're going to be different. Today is going to be the start of a new day, a new life, a new you. It's going to you're great. You already practiced this. You know what to say. Just go out and do it. So I kept pumping myself up. I kept psyching myself up, and let me tell you, it worked. It worked because when I went to high school the first day, remember I told you it was. I didn't feel so nervous. A lot of the nervous energy was already expelled, and I felt a little bit more confident in myself because I had psyched myself up. Remember, you are your greatest motivator and supporter. So you have to be a friend to yourself first. If you have to be the one that motivates you, you have the one that says, "Hey, you can do it." It comes from you first. So, like I said, what I did was called a mirror exercise. You guys can try it too. If you're feeling not so confident in something, you're feeling that you're not, maybe you have some doubts about something, look in the mirror. Really look in the mirror. Motivate yourself. That's what I can tell you. It really helps. Try it anytime you're free this week or next week. Do try it, and you can already see there is some results. Okay, so you try this mirror exercise. You need to pump yourself up. Another part about being ready is also to be observant. Okay, observe the people around you. Remember earlier when I mentioned that the first friend I met in high school was I overheard him talking about anime because I was observing the people around me at the time. Now, similarly, I met another friend also early that year because I saw that he had a Star Wars badge on his back. So I saw he had a Star Wars badge. And I was like, hey, people don't just put random badges on their backs. It has to mean something. So I went up to him. At that point, I was a bit more calmer because I've already made like a few friends through the methods I told you earlier. And I said, hey, is that a Star Wars badge? That's pretty cool. Do you watch it too? And it turns out he's a big fan. That's why the badge is on it. And I was a big fan as well. So, we talked and then we actually got into a conversation, and he became my friend too. So another thing you should do is always observe the people around you. Even if it's, let's say, a pencil box, it's something, maybe the color of it, the design, maybe it's the character on it, whatever they're speaking, maybe they're talking about something here or there, or even you observe like on the field, they are very good at sports and stuff like that. Be observant of your classmates or the people around you, right? Because you'll be able to find topics of conversation or methods of being able to talk to them about something by this method. Okay, so it could lead to conversations. Random things like this, right, can lead to conversations. So that's how you can be ready. Okay, be observant about the people around you. The next thing you should do, be real. Now, I cannot stress this enough. When you are talking to someone, right, when you're approaching someone, right, be genuinely interested in the other person, because people can tell when you're faking. No matter how good an actor you think you are, right, people can tell when you are not genuinely interested. Because I have had people talk to me before, and I can feel that it is sometimes it is very fake. They are saying it, but they are not believing it. They're not really feeling it, and so it feels very empty. So me as a person, I would feel like, this person, does he actually care about what I'm saying? Does he actually want to find out more? Is he just saying it for the sake of it? It's very shallow. So when you are talking to someone, when you're trying to make a friend, right, go in with the mindset that you really want to know more about this person. You want to know what makes him tick. You want to know what does he like, what does he doesn't like, what is his interest, what are his hobbies. You want to know more about him. And it defines what defines a friendship is the connection, not the fluff, the connection. Because that's what's going to keep deeper conversations going. And most importantly, Real people attract those that are similar. And sometimes similar goes, sometimes if people are fake, they will also attract similar kind of people. So birds of a feather flock together, right? So if you're real, your intentions are good when you're talking to someone, right? And they can see it, right? You will start to attract people of that nature. And you want to have real people around you. You want to have real friends around you. So it's important that you yourself always be real. Another thing is the final part of it is be realistic. Be realistic in the sense that, yes, when I was 12, when I was 13, when I entered high school, I wanted to make a bunch of friends. I wanted to meet a lot of people. I wanted to start making friends everywhere. But be realistic. If you don't really feel that confident yet, if you're introverted, you're shy, you're just starting out, start with one. Start with one. Okay? So start with one friend that you feel that you're building a good communication, you're building a good connection with, and it can be a strong friendship. From there, let me tell you, the friendship will do its work. You start to meet new and new people from there on. Because once you meet someone, that person, you ultimately, and you become close to that person, right? You're ultimately being close with that person's circle of friends as well. And sometimes those circle of friends become your friends as well, which is what happened to me. Okay, so every friend you meet, every person you meet and you become close to, it opens a door to a whole new bunch of friends as well. Because when you become friends with someone, you're becoming their friends, will start to know you, and your friends will start to know them. That's ultimately how connections work. For me, after I met my first friend in high school, the one I talked of anime about, he invited me over to his house, and I met a whole bunch of his friends. They became my friends, and slowly I was able to meet more and more and more people. So it's like this, it goes up like this, but it starts with one. Focus on one, it will start to grow by itself. Okay, so that's in the sense of being realistic. So by being brave, by being ready, by being real and realistic, let me tell you that all of these things together will help you when you're starting off making friends. All right? Because once you are able to have all these things, once you start putting it into action, that is when you can be a friend as well. Once you are able to have all of these things in motion, in action, you start being a friend too. All right. And let me tell you that I have used this strategy again and again throughout my life. After Form 1, I used it again when we went to a whole new classroom of people. And the more I practiced this strategy, the more friends I made, the more people I was able to connect with, and the easier it was for me to make friends. So much so, by the time Form 5 came around, right, it was easy for me to walk up to someone from a different school as well and say, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you new here? You want to know some stuff." So it's easy for me to talk, but it starts with practicing this again and again. But you have to start. You have to start somewhere. Okay. So that's just a little bit of my experience in high school and how I broke out of the shell in terms of being very scared, being very shy, being very introverted, not having many friends, to being able to speak openly with people, connect with others, and being able to have a wonderful group of friends by the end of high school, which until today, I actually still I'm very very close contact, close communication, and still very close with all of them. Okay, and I look out for them, and they look out for me. So this is something that if you're working on this four steps, on these 4 steps, you can achieve as well. Okay, so now once you've made a friend, once you have friends around you already, the next question comes. I've made the friends, but how do I keep them? How do I keep them? Because friends are for life, right? Friends are for life. Friends are forever, right? Friends are long term. How do I keep them? And that's when we are going into the next segment of today's session. I want to ask you guys here today, what's your longest friendship to date? Type in the chat. Like in years. Okay, some of you have 9 years, 15 years, 12 years, 15 years, 16 years, 1.5 years. Amazing. 13 years. Wow. Now, second question on us. How many of you have a best friend in your life currently? Okay, great. I see that a lot of you have a best friend currently in your life. Now, so here's the thing about keeping friends, okay? So I want you to remember these four things, okay? FEST, FEST. This is a method that I think will help you be able to keep your friends. Now, I asked you this question also, right? Longest friendship to date, and how many of you have a best friend in your life, right? It will come into play later in the session. So for me personally, I have a best friend as well. We've been best friends for around 10 years. Surprisingly, it's not someone I met in high school. It's actually someone I met in college. And for him, and this time was someone that made the first move also. I actually got to know my best friend because he introduced himself to me in the elevator, of college, and I was going up to my class. So, and we've been best friends for 10 years now. And looking at it, right, the entire journey that we had, and even with other friends, my high school friends, right, this is one way that I think we'll be able to keep friends. The first thing is you need to have forgiveness and understanding. The second thing, effort is the key to a long lasting friendship. The third, you must be able to, or you should be able to stick through it, the thick and thin of it. And finally, you need to be able to tone down your expectations. Okay? Now, what do I mean by all these things? What does FEST mean? What do you mean by these four things? When I say forgiveness and understanding, right? Who here has had friends who had disappointed them before? Type in the chat, me. Who here has had friends that have disappointed them before? Okay. Some of you said no. Wow, that's very lucky. Okay, a lot of you said me. Now I'm going to flip the question. How many of you have disappointed friends before? Or disappointed your best friend before? Either one. I am also going to type in me. I have disappointed friends before, and sometimes I also wonder, why did I do it? Why did I make a mistake? Why did I act in a certain way? The thing is that people mess up. The end of the story is people mess up. I mean, guys, we're all human. We sometimes, you yourself know, for those of you also that have disappointed friends, right? Sometimes we don't think at that time. Sometimes we just act on certain things. Sometimes we say the wrong things. Sometimes we accidentally let out a secret, and we hurt our friends. We disappoint our friends. Our friends hurt us. We feel disappointed. Sometimes we feel even to the point of betrayed, and this is normal. People mess up, friends mess up, and the thing is, if we are willing to, we are sorry about it. We are very, very sorry about it, and we are willing to actually admit, that we tell them, explain to them, I didn't mean it. We apologize, and then really, really mean it, right? As friends, right? If you know that person so well, if you know that person, he doesn't act like this, or she doesn't act like this usually, but today I don't know why she just acted in such a way that I was disappointed, I was hurt, I was frustrated, made me angry and stuff like that. But you know that that's not how they normally are, and they are sorry. You can see it from their face, you see it from their action. Have the forgiveness and have the understanding to move past this. Great friendships exist because Sometimes people mess up, but the other party is able to forgive them and they move on. They don't make the same mistake again, but they move on. But if the person keeps making the same mistakes, keep doing the same thing, and keeps hurting you the same way, right? Then you need to ask yourself, lah, is this person really my friend? But if they are sorry about it and you know that they don't really act this way, right? I would say my advice is forgive them, be understanding. Be understanding because we all mess up. The second one is effort is key. Now, if you see here, right, the picture on the left, the hand is reaching out and someone reaches back and grabs it. A friendship is not a one-way street. It's not me putting out my hand alone. A friendship is two ways. Okay? The effort cannot come from one party. There's no such thing as a long-lasting one-sided friendship. A one-sided friendship will not only hurt you, but it will waste a lot of your time because you could have been spent making other friends that really care about you and see your word. So when you talk about effort, right, it means both sides need to be able to put the effort. One example is I had a friend. So I have a friend actually, not had. Had is past tense. I have a friend who I actually lost contact with for a while. But after one point, right, he actually started reaching out again. He wanted to meet up. And I could see the effort from his part, and I also started reaching out again. And because of that, right, after that point, right, every year now I'm older, older in my life already, so it's harder to meet up with friends. But every single year, I meet up with at least a select number of friends, and we have never once missed meeting up because I want to meet them, they want to meet me. We want to still maintain the friendship. A friendship is a we thing, not just a me thing. Okay? So if you find that there are friends in your life or people who may not be putting in the effort anymore, that may not be wanting to invest in the friendship anymore, sometimes we have to let those friends go. But for those that are consistently, think about friends in your life, they're always checking on you, they're always WhatsApping you and then saying, hey, bro, how you doing, man? Or they are gaming with you and say, hey, bro, you saw this thing or not? Are you all right? Hey, you saw this homework or not? How are you doing? Want to meet up? Want to hang? These people who are constantly checking up on you, constantly trying to be in your life, those are the friends that are putting in the effort. Those are the friends that are investing in your friendship, and you should. And if you are willing to put the same effort in and investment in, that's going to be a very long-lasting friendship. Very importantly, I will also say is this: when you have friends, right, who actually during these times of sadness, right, during these difficult times, are actually there for you to support you. They are there for you and you are there for them, right? These are the ones what we call keepers. They are the ones you want to keep around for life. And there was a time also I think share your experience also. I had a friend. So what happened was that in high school, I was organizing something and it didn't go so well. It actually didn't. The event didn't go as I planned, and I was distraught. I was so disappointed. I was like so angry, And my friend, he just came around and he just sat down next to me and he just like, you know what? I'm here for you. You just go through your process yourself, and I'll be here for you. And I had a few other friends also that did the same for me. Then they don't need to do so much. They don't need to give you so much, but just being there for you to support you during tough times, right? It really helps you a lot. It really helps the friendship a lot. And during the happy times, celebrate it with them. When you are happy, you have something that is joyous, you have something that is, you have achieved something, like let's say you won first in a race. The first person you want to share it with is your friends, and they are happy for you as well. If my best friend, what call it, passes his piano exam for, let's say, a very high level, I'm excited too. He's excited he passed. I'm excited too. And that's what friends are for. You're excited for them, you're happy for them. At times when they are happy and they've achieved stuff, at times when they're down, that's when you're there to support them. You don't need to necessarily always give them advice, just be there for them. Because at the end of the day, right, the friendship is as strong as the moments you shared. It doesn't matter how long you had as a friendship, but what moments that mattered. The last one is tone down expectations. All right. So when you talk about tone down expectations, right, and we all have an idea of what a perfect friend should be, but no one can actually truly fit that. Okay. Once you learn to accept that your friends are imperfect, but they care about you, they appreciate you, and they are there for you, you'll be able to see the value in the friendship. You'll be able to see the bond that you shared. You'll be able to see the positive side of the friendship. All right. So don't have so high expectations of what a perfect friendship is. Just be grateful and appreciative for the friends that are there for you and the friends that you have. So I've come to the end of my session here. The points that I want to make is that sometimes we think we don't need friends, that we're better off alone, that it's hard and all. But we are social creatures, Even introverts need interaction. And whenever something good happens, like I said, celebrate it. Whenever something bad happens, be there to offer the support. Because a good friendship is one that you can be yourself. You don't need to pretend, and you feel like you have a sense of belonging with someone. These are just some quotes that I thought were really powerful when it comes to friendship. They are friends, they are family. There are friends, there's family. And then there are friends that become family. A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. Very powerful. These two as well. A friend is someone who helps you when you're down, and if they can't, they lay down beside you and listen. Friendship isn't about, this is my favorite one, friendship isn't about who you've known the longest. It's about who walked into your life and said, I'm here for you, and they proved it. So think about these people in your life at this point in time, these friends that you have. You'll be able to tell who are the ones that are really there for you. So for my challenge, right? Okay, so for those of you who have friends that are important to you, right? Drop them a text and let them know how much you appreciate having them in life. Hey, bro, or hey, I just want to let you know that I'm glad to have you in my life. I'm glad to have you as a friend. Drop them a note, make them feel appreciated. Sometimes it's good to tell them rather than them not knowing. Tell them how much you appreciate having them in your life. For those of you looking to make new friends, my challenge is the next chance you get to actually introduce yourself to someone new in your class, in your school, tuition, and whatever, right? Take it. Because at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? Very important. What do you have to lose? By not talking to someone, what do you have to lose? The most he says is, cool man, maybe I don't want to be a friend. The most that happens is that the person doesn't want to be a friend. That's the most that you can lose. But you don't even know the person in the first place. So really, what do we have to lose? So go out there, try. Appreciate those friends that you have, and go find friends that will make your life fulfilling. All right? Thank you so much. Okay, I hope that today's session has been a little bit. Okay, I see some answers in the chat. Yeah, do post some questions. I hope this session has been insightful, and it hopefully helps you guys a little bit in your experience. Okay. I see that there's a question by Kinsley. What are ways to maintain friendship, especially during the pandemic and lockdown, since you're miles away? So Kinsley, what I would advise is that there are two things. One thing is that you have means like WhatsApp and Telegram and so on and so forth. Connect with them, still be able to connect. Drop them a text, drop them a voice note. Even better if it's a voice note also. Drop them keep the connection going. Send them stuff, send them memes, send them articles, but make sure that there is a continuous connection. If you want, you could even schedule a Google Meet with them and play a game. go online. It doesn't need to be all the RPGs and anything on Steam, but it can be simple games that you can look up on your browser that you can just play, have fun, or even have a conversation with them, give them a call. So these are some of the things that you can do because we have technology. Why not use it? Okay. Nishal, what is the meaning of introverted? Introverted, in a sense, Nishal, is that you are not the kind of like the rah rah kind of person. You are more reserved. You're more reserved. You mostly keep to yourself. You sometimes a little bit shy. You don't really want to go out in the crowd much. You are more happy being by yourself. So these are some of the traits of introverted, and a lot of people actually are introverted. I think the pandemic makes a lot of people more introverted because we are all isolated in a sense. So I hope that answers your question. Cleo, you asked a question here. Is it true that most of the friends you make are just the same as you, meaning they have the same personality and interests? This is both true and not true. All right. The friends that you make, right? Definitely, you start off by having similar interests. When you start a conversation with someone, you meet someone new, right? You are talking to them because they have similar interests, something that they are having common with you. But over time, as your friendship develops, right, these things are not so important in the friendship. More importantly is whether they trust, whether you have a good trust going, whether you're able to be there for one another, whether you can depend on one another. So it becomes deeper in nature, deeper values in nature as your friendship progresses. Sure, you always have things that you have in common with, but it's deeper now. The friendship is stronger. The friendship has more layers. It's not just interest, but now it's trust. It's dependency. It's being able to relate to someone, being able to understand someone, understand their actions. These are all the deeper layers of friendship that you'll find after the layer of having similar interests. Okay. Kinsley also asked, what are the way? Oh, no, this one I answered already, I think. Adriana just said, I just dropped a text to my best friend and told him how much I appreciate him. Thanks so much for that, Adri, because a lot of times, sometimes we think that our friends know how important they are in our life, but it's always good to drop them a text and let them know, like on verbally or written, that they are important in our lives. We also have another comment from Baggy. Baggy says, I think no friend are made the same as you. You just make friends who have similar personalities because you can feel understood. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you're thinking your friend is exactly like you, a lot of times no, they all have their own different quirks, their own personalities, their own attitudes. There are some things that are similar, but ultimately there are some things that are different. But you know what? If being very different from your friends, right, actually makes your whole friendship a lot more exciting because they are going to be introducing you to a whole new world of things that you may not know of. You are going to be introducing them to a lot of new things that they don't know about. All right. So you grow together. A good friendship also is one that you're both growing, you're both making each other knowing more stuff. Okay, Curtis says, I think I'm the most blessed and luckiest person in the world to have you, my best friend. No one can be better than you in my life. Yes, always appreciate those that have value to us, those that we value a lot. Because, in life, right, there are 7 billion people on this planet, 7 billion people on this planet. But there's only a handful of people that you feel that you can connect with very, very strongly, and that you know that is very important to you even throughout your life. Everybody has their group of friends. Everybody has that one best friend or two best friends that is going to be with them for as long as it can. Out of the 7 billion people in the world, these are the people that resonate with you. These are the people that connect with you. These are the people that you and them are lucky enough to call friends. So that's something special.